Hi, everybody. I'm Dee Lisa. I'm the Dream Doula for Women.
Hi, I'm Sydney Allen of Soul Energies Aligned, and it's such a
Mm.
pleasure to be here and talk with you.
It's so great to have you. And before we hit record, I was reminded all the magic you do in the world. And so not only are you an energy worker, you also channel the 333, or the three times three, these entities that
Please, yeah,
how long have you let's start talking about that, and then we'll go into energy work, because it's really all energy work, isn't it?
yeah.
How long have you been a channel? Did you have that gift your whole life?
With hindsight, I have had it pretty much all of my life.
Mm,
I only, I guess you'd call it, claimed it in the last couple of years, and um, it's very, it's very new for me to do it publicly. But
okay.
I have also been a card reader of tarot and oracle cards for decades. And hindsight has taught me that I've been channeling through most of that experience.
Yes, isn't it interesting? Anybody who's listening who reads cards or does energy work, like the cards, it's not really the cards. It's not
No, they
really
sort of
the coins.
focus. Yeah, it's like those visuals create a narrowing of the field of information.
Hmm.
Um, but I realized the channeling was the thing that was um, the most.
Oops, you froze.
But it was the thing because the tarot system is so structured that a lot of times the messages that were coming through to me didn't follow the rules.
Right. So you'd use the tarot, and is it tarot or tarot? Does it matter?
I think it depends on where you are in the world.
Okay. Yeah, because someone said, "Ooh, I didn't know you pronounced it that way." I was like, "I don't know that I'm doing it right." But the cards are very specific, and they have different meanings, but the meanings are broad enough that you could pull a different
Yeah.
meaning in.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
there's so many different decks. I mean, you could really just read someone's cards with a regular deck of cards.
Yes. You absolutely could. And
Hmm.
and the plethora of images that are out there now is just such a delight. I I call them my art collection
Oh,
because
yeah.
I don't know how many I have. I know I have over 100, and I know this is the third time in my life that I've had over 100 decks. I've never gotten rid of all of them, but there have been numerous times when I've given a whole lot away, or something caused me to lose them, or um, and yet somehow enough beautiful images reappear in my world. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm tripping over boxes of them again.
Oh, and they just keep making more.
Yeah, yeah. One day I will create a big shadow box of some of my favorite images.
Oh, that's a
And
good
one day I will
idea.
have a big enough wall for that.
Mm. Okay, so
But that's been my dream.
let's go back to the idea of energy work. When you do energy work with clients, how how do you do that? What's it look like?
Well, it um, it looks like me standing over a massage table,
Okay.
with my hands above them, moving, depending on the situation, moving from feet to head or head to feet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a Reiki master, but I'm also trained in full spectrum healing, which is which is another which is another form of energy work that's similar to Reiki, but it's more um, it's the full range of energy centers, whereas the the main the main release or channel of energy with Reiki is through the heart chakra, whereas with full spectrum healing, it works with with all 12 energy centers, the seven main chakras, and um, the spiritual center, and I guess what people call the earth center, and it, depending on the issues being experienced, is the combination that will be used in that process. I guess the biggest difference I can think of to illustrate it is that with Reiki, you are you are usually focusing on certain places on the body. There are particular hand arrangements that you use. And with the full spectrum healing, you are sometimes moving through them simultaneously. I'm visualizing one of them as that's like a spiral going up the spine. Um, I mm, I'm trying to pull on the name, but my pet name for it was, to have your own back.
Oh, I love it.
It was a spiral of all the different energies around the spinal cord to sort of shore everything up.
I love the
Um,
idea that if you can see or feel energy, it's spiral because we live in a spiral universe where things are always
yes,
trying to become more and
it's
more who
always
they,
elliptical. Yes, it's
yeah.
always it's never a circle, and it's never a straight line. Energy moves as an elliptical. And if you see even of any of the things from NASA and how the planets move, they
Yeah.
also it's it's an elliptical um
Yeah. Yeah. So you can
way that it travels.
get it down to the tiniest little particles that are doing that inside of our bodies to the energy field
Right,
that's in and around our bodies to the cosmos.
right. It's all a reflection. If you look, in fact, if you study the energy points on your feet,
Yeah.
on your hands, or of your ear, it's a replica of the entire human body. It's a little
Yeah.
mini. It's a little mini representation.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
Oh,
So Sydney, when you're working on someone and they're on your massage table and you're doing this energetic work, can you also do that
uh-huh.
remotely so they're not actually with you?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So someone
I
could be
do it.
just
In fact,
laying down on their
most.
own bed at home
That's
and you're
right.
working on them.
Yes.
Hmm.
And I'm working on them. And I do it a lot for people who have gone into the hospital, who
Oh
have to have
yeah.
surgery, and I will send energy to them in their room, and I will also send it to the surgical suite before they go in,
Oh, that's great.
so that there is all of that um, love energy in there before that's what they are wheeled into.
Oh, that's so beautiful. That's lovely. I was talking to a minister friend the other day, and she was saying one of her parishioners went into the hospital, so she was saying some prayers, and she said,
Mhm.
there's always angels just hanging around outside of hospitals waiting to help people. And so she
Yes.
said a prayer and she said, I could see six angels just swoop right into her room. And I said, wait, you can see angels? And she said, oh, yeah. Like it was
Yeah.
just like the weather. Oh, yeah, of course I can.
Don't you see angels? It's just like seeing a plant.
It's just like seeing a plant. They're just there.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. So you see angels,
Yeah.
Sydney?
Sometimes that, you know, it's one of the, it's, it's just like you'll hear people talk about all the input that comes to us at a, in a given moment, that,
Mm-hmm.
that it's all so filtered down that by the time we tell you what we saw, 90% of it has been filtered out
Yes.
because we don't have anywhere to hold all of it all at once.
Yes, just to be in the human body and have our human experience, much of what's happening energetically has to just be
Right.
chopped out.
It's
Mm-hmm.
just, it's, we've narrowed our focus so much in order, the very nature of being in the body is an act of resistance. So we've narrowed it all down so much so that we can stay in the body. By the same token, in the body is where you get sunrises, sunsets, sex, and chocolate. So I think it's a well worthwhile effort.
It sounds like you've said that phrase before. Say that again. Being in the body is what?
Where you get sunrises, sunsets, sex, and chocolate.
I love
There's
it.
no outside of the body, amidst the all that is, there's no contrast.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't have contrast, you don't, those there's no orange in the all that is.
Mm.
There's no green. There's not, there's, because those are all of those things, whether they're visual, sensational, a taste, a touch, they all require contrast to be in the experience.
Yes. Yes, that's so beautiful. Okay.
So,
Let me ask you another question. So you do
yes,
energy work, obviously healing people's bodies. And when you're doing energy work, do you also channel or is that a separate thing altogether?
it's the 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 experience of me channeling as talking is
Hmm.
separate, but
Okay.
the influence of my guides and entities in order, they do facilitate the energy work.
Right. So they're there. You feel like you're not actually channeling to say words out of your mouth, but they're helping you do the energetic healing.
Right. I'm not
Yes.
talking so much. I'm not talking that much while I'm doing the energy work or about them. What they're, mm, they're like my team.
Right. You
They're
have a
part of
team.
my team for the energy work.
Mm.
Um, and so that's how. Um, but mm, I'm not turning what they send to me into words. I'm not
Got
trying
it.
to translate a block of thought.
Got it. And back to you've probably been channeling your whole life. When was the first
Mhm.
time you realized it was you were doing something different than other people? Or was it just
I
natural
know
in your family?
it was pretty, it wasn't natural in my family, but when I became aware, when I became conscious of the fact that I was doing it, I was already grown and I
Hmm.
already see other channels. So I
Okay.
didn't feel so weird.
So
I
kind of
was,
like James Von Prague. You know who he is?
Yes, I know who he is. Yes.
And he was told that he would be a channel long before he started channeling. And he went to a
Mm.
channel and they're like, "You can do this, you know." And he's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you had been to channels and then you're like, "Oh, hey, wait a minute. I'm doing that too, aren't I?"
And they were like, everybody can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can do it. They just don't think they can do it.
Yeah.
I, it's that feeling. I have it since I was a child. I've written prose and poetry. I've longed to be able to draw, but the older I get, the more I'm willing to try it anyway. Um,
Yeah.
but in those moments when it flows, there are definitely times when I'm fully aware that I don't have anything to do with this. This is happening. And
It's like,
I am
wow,
this is that Jesus takes the wheel moment.
right on. Yes, and
I'm
yeah,
doing it.
yeah, so perfect because what you just said is like everyone can do this. I think every human who really is conscious about life could say, "Oh, there was a moment or two or many where I was in the flow and I was making something or I was reading something or I was writing something or I was
Yes,
creating something." And then you're like, "Wow, who made that?"
yes, right. So you go back to it, and it's a total and complete surprise.
And you're like, "What? Who wrote that? Wow, who or and as a visual artist, um, who painted that?" Like
Oh,
I've certainly been in my art studio and it's like been in the zone. It was like hours went by and
yeah,
like, wow, that's kind of cool. Like,
yeah,
why did I didn't consciously say the red should go
yes,
next to the purple, should go next to the black, better add more. Like I'm doing it. And maybe I'm thinking about it
yeah,
from what I learned, but then still I'm surprised how things turn out
yeah,
sometimes in a good
hmm,
way. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Beautiful. Yeah,
Oh,
so you're doing it.
Sydney, do you
It's
listen to
the
your
trusting
dreams?
it.
Are you a vivid dreamer and do you listen to your dreams?
I listen to them. I don't always remember them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Intellectually, I know that we dream every night, but I've been much more in the feeling that what we call reality is the dream.
Yeah.
And we wake up when we go to bed. And
Uh,
so
and
there are
and we really
times,
wake up when we die.
that's right. That's right. In that moment, you go, oh, damn, I wasted all that time.
It's
In
so
place of
fascinating to
jobs,
me.
I was
Yeah.
chasing a bill.
Yeah. The idea that consciousness has different levels. So we're in the body and we're awake right now, but this is a dream. And then we
Mm-hmm.
go to sleep and that's a dream. And then there's even something where if you're a yogi and you've done
Yep.
lots of meditation, there's something called dream yoga where people can go into the
Mm.
dreaming state and become aware that they're dreaming and then meditate inside of the dream.
Oh, I've never tried to meditate inside of the dreams. I'm usually aware that I'm dreaming.
Yeah.
Ever since I
Mm-hmm.
was a child, I've been aware that I was dreaming.
Fun.
I've always said that was why nightmares were so rare for me,
Yeah.
because the nightmare would happen when I would know I was dreaming, but I still couldn't wake up. I would think I did the thing to wake up, and it was still happening. And it was like, okay, how do I get out?
Yeah, for some people, if you can become lucid in your dreams, so you know, in other words, for people listening, you're aware that you're dreaming while you're dreaming. There's three different ways of dreaming like that. You can just watch it like it's a movie. You can watch it like it's a movie and you're the star of the movie, so you're kind of like you're acting in the movie. And then there's a third way to be in a lucid dream where you're the director And so you can change the dream.
You can change it. Yes.
You got to remember you're in the dream to be able to change the dream. But what a cool idea
Yes.
that
Yes.
it's a nightmare, but now, like, what's frightening? I'm going to switch that up. Like, you could
Yeah,
like
right.
fight the
Yeah, right.
monster, or fly away, walk through the walls, or whatever you want to do because it's a
The
dream.
dragon expel a bouquet of flowers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes people do manage recurring nightmares, like when they're being chased by something, they can
Mm.
like go, wait, this is a dream, and they turn around and go, why are you chasing me? And have an interesting
Yeah, right.
conversation
Wait,
with that monster in their dream.
thanks.
So yeah, it's fascinating. The whole because I think for a lot of people, when they're like, wait, energy work is like really off the edge for them. They they don't remember that we're energetic beings and we're having a
Beings.
physical sensation. And then they're like,
Yes.
channeling? What is that? And then you can go down the rabbit hole in
It's
dreams.
a conscious stuff. It's just opening to
Yeah.
this is a multi-dimensional experience. We're multi-dimensional beings. It's it's um it's it's like being able it's like being able to get a bird's eye view.
Yes.
It's like I'm sitting here, and it's like being able to sit up here and kind of look around,
Yes.
or be able to do that 360 thing like an
Mm,
owl and see
yeah,
what's
that's
behind
great.
me.
See what's all around. So do you think being able to understand energetic realities in this multidimensional world and having access to your soul soul friends on the other side, that do you how do you think that has helped you in life?
It has eliminated a tremendous amount of fear for me.
Okay, tell me more.
Um, I I've spent all my life feeling like I was making up for not being a studious student who wanted to grow up and be the manager in something or another. I mean, oh please, if somebody just dropped a sack full of cash on the side of my door and I could manage life, I saw
Hmm.
no reason to ever go into an office at all. I it was I don't those things on that checklist that were to be accomplishments, it, it did nothing for me.
Yeah.
And I and so there was always that parental voice gnawing in the back of my head. And the older I got, the more worried I got about time running out. And um, all of a sudden, there was this feeling of what if it's just for the delight of it?
Instead of like, oh, I'm getting so old now, time's almost running out, I better do this and this and that, you're like, what if this is it? What if this
What
moment
if
is
it's
it?
for the delight? Right. And what if the purpose of it is to experience the delight of it?
Yes.
Where's the delight? And then as I started looking for the delight, and also realizing that that whole age thing was really tainted. It was the only way I could look at it.
Yeah.
And I started to be like, well, I have time right now. Why am I spending the time worrying about time running out?
Don't
There's,
you think that's the biggest human dilemma and the way we create unhappiness is
yes,
wanting to live in the future?
yes. I either that or I had, oh, I wish I could remember who said this because I think it is the most profound thing I ever heard. You can never get even with the past, no
Ooh.
matter what you do, no matter who you be. You can never get even with the past. And I think the greatest source of unhappiness is trying to kind of go back and fix that or do
Mm-hmm.
it differently and or waiting on the quote unquote winning outcome. You know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's fair. I mean, all the gurus of all times have always just said what Ram Dass said was like, be here
Yes,
now.
be
So
here now.
to be in the moment, we all know what that feels like because we're true, like maybe we're creating something, maybe we're eating delicious food, maybe we're having wonderful
Yeah,
sex. We're in the moment, and that's
yeah,
where the delight is. And then we start
yeah,
thinking about something in the past or something in the future, and we're off to get back to the moment, moment after moment, to realize that we just have this one moment, which kind of blows the
yeah.
human mind. It's like, wait, no, we have clocks. There's another moment coming, but we're not there.
But we're not there.
We're here.
We're not there. We're here. And
Yeah.
and we as humans are the one that constructed time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
We made
doesn't
up time. We
over
made up
here. It
time and we
doesn't
made
live
up
on its
money.
own. And we made up money. And
Yeah.
it rules us all.
Yeah, so we're in the planet trying to like manage time and manage money and forgetting to be in the moment, experiencing the delight of being alive, where we get to breathe and walk and play and eat and all the beautiful things. When you're doing energy work on people, you're probably removing blocks that keep them stuck in that kind of thought process.
Yeah. Yeah. Or create that and creating a safety in where they are.
Yes. Oh, so
I so many of those so many of the things that people talk about in terms of blocks and
yeah,
barriers um, are growing out of a sense of being unsafe or unsure. And in that in that sense of safety is it's like the soil where you can grow trust.
yes. Feeling unsafe in the body is probably a very common feeling for most humans and maybe more women than men.
Mm. Yeah, it's mostly women that I work with.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I think well, because we're kind of raised to feel unsafe. We're raised to believe that we need to be protected.
Yes, the
And
protector provider.
if we need to be protected and provided for, we must not be enough on our own.
Mm, yeah. And then you look at the fairy tales that we all grow up with, like
Yeah,
Cinderella or Beauty and the
yeah,
Beast, or even the
all of them.
Snow White.
Yeah. And
They're all like,
end. They all end when the prince comes and chooses them and sweeps them away and one but but it doesn't end there. What then what?
yeah, I used to say, and I used to say this sarcastically, and then they lived happily ever after, just like real life,
Just like real life. Yeah. Just like
because
you're doing right now.
that is not how the life of contrast on the planet works. It's not
No.
all happily ever after. It's there's a dilemma, there's a situation or condition or circumstance, and we need to get beyond it or figure out something to fix it or overcome it. And it is the dance of getting beyond those things that make life interesting and fun.
Yeah. And what if it's not a problem? So many things when I turned away from it or fallen back into the the trust in that things are always working out for me. The universe is really somebody wrote this book about the universe has my back or has your back. But I'm like, oh my God, I remember when I saw it. I was like, oh yes, that's so true. So many things, if I didn't touch it, took care of themselves so much faster than it would have happened if I had to get my fingers in that pie and mess it all up.
That's so that's so beautifully put. Yeah. I tried it, but if I would have just waited, the universe would bring me what I needed.
And usually in a much better package than I'd even entertained.
That's the thing that I
But
think is fun. It's like this, and when I work with women, I have them dream up what they would love that would be so
yeah,
amazing. They can't believe they could do it on their own. And then even that, we say this or something even
they're
better
even better. Yeah.
because that's what the universe brings us. We can dream up like it would be great if I got this or that. And it's like, boom, how about this other thing so big you can't even imagine it today,
Yeah.
right?
I
Yeah.
mean, can you imagine if the the ocean was dreamed of as a bowl of water?
Yes,
She who dreams the bowl of water, the ocean is just like, and the ocean just keeps going.
it does keep going. And there's so much in there. Oh my gosh.
There are
Oh
whole
my gosh.
universes in there, and that whole ebb and flow. It has been my solace my whole life. No matter what was tearing at my heart, if I could sit by the ocean and let that come in and go out, she would take it all. And she would
Yeah.
just come coming in and going out. It wasn't a burden. It wasn't too much. It wasn't over, overflowing, drying up. None of it. It just,
Yes. Oh,
and
that's so beautiful. So
it just,
beautiful.
yeah, it's just that. I can, I could do anything behind that.
Right on, Sydney. Well, let's tell people how they can find you if they want to do energy work or
Oh,
have you do some
absolutely.
channeling work. How can people find you in the world?
They can find me. They can find me on Facebook. It's under my own name. Shockingly enough, it's Sydney K. Allen. Um, they can also find me on. I have a page of Soul Energies Aligned, but my personal page is usually where most information is, where I'm interacting with most people. And
Okay.
uh, they can email me at Sydney at soulenergiesaligned.com. So I would spell that for you. It's SYDNEY, just like Australia, at Soul, SOUL, Energy, ENERGIES, ALIGNED.com.
Cool. And we will put this in the show notes so people don't have to
Okay,
lay
great.
that over.
Yes,
Well, they can look in there and
yes,
click.
yeah, right.
And what is your most favorite thing to do? What would you like people to find? If they find you today, when this goes live, it'll probably be in February. What would you like them to
Wish
book
me
with
a happy
you?
birthday.
I will. Is your birthday in February?
It's the 29th of February. I'm a leap year baby.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, yeah. I held on for leap year. It was 17 minutes after midnight.
That's probably a small
Um,
group of people.
yes, I got to be on TV and in the newspaper before I was a week old
I love
because I
it.
was the first leap year baby in Pittsburgh that year.
So cute. So if people find you, would you prefer to do energy work, channeling work, a mixture of both, or what? Do you have a program?
Um, I do have a channeling program to help women, right, much like you, to help them have their dreams bubble up, to go from disillusioned to absolutely delighted and to fall back in love with their life. Uh,
Nice.
um, and that is the intro to that is the channeling sessions where they can ask the questions that are most pressing for them, and
Nice.
the three and I will help them navigate and grow those grow those preferences, and we move from there. It can include energy work. It's sort of, I honestly have, as you can tell, have a hard time following the rules. But
That seems like it would be good for everyone who works for you because you give them what they need.
yes, yes. And in the channeling sessions, from what comes up, sometimes it leads into energy work, and sometimes it leads into other things. I also teach qigong, and which is a body movement, kind of a moving meditation. And so I let that guide me into what will be most supportive. Because what I really want is for all those women entering their third act to remember it ain't over. There is
Right
still
on.
plenty of time. And it should unfold into all your favorite colors and all your favorite, activities and experiences. Just, let your heart
I love
open up
that.
and trust that it can be filled.
Ah, I love that, Sydney. Thanks for what you do in the world. And we'll put all
Thank you.
these links in the show notes so people can find you and have a terrific third act.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for being here today. Bye,
Oh, you're
everybody.
welcome. It was wonderful to be here. Have a great one.